Hi, I will talk you about the georoads in the LIGCANARIAS project. Well, in the last decades, numerous work have been published documenting the geological heritage and the geodiversity of the Spanish territory. The effort made to disseminate knowledge of the natural environment has been immense. Many people, research groups, scientific societies, professional associations and public administrations have been involved in this task. The dissemination of geological heritage has been carried out on several fronts. First, documentation of geosites. Second, declaration of geoparks. First, publication of national park guides. And almost the development of educational web content and organization of education activities, such as Olympic and Geolodice. But all this effort, was it efficient? The products generated have a high scientific and technical quality, but however, the results are scarce, at least in Spain. Geology credits in the high school have been reduced. The enrollment rate for geology faculties is low, at least in Spain. The geological heritage is not compelling reason to choose a tourist destination. What else could be done? The purpose of this work is to propose a didactic renovation based on a traditional means of teaching geology, the field trips. In this sense, several changes are considered necessary for the products generated to become efficient. The first change, that the products are adapted to the new social habits. The second change, that they communicate ideas in a plastic way, audiovisual register. The third change, that they use web results and smartphone type platforms. It's considered necessary that the products generated are suitable for commercial use in order to be profitable. The design of georoads in the Canary archipelago is proposed to validate these ideas. But why the Canary Island? First of all, because the Canary Islands offer a great geodiversity of volcanic reliefs, and so you can recognize a recently active stratovolcano like the interior of an extinct volcanic caldera like Caldera Tejeda in Gran Canaria, or pillow lavas and marine sediments of the oceanic crust deposit above the sea level in Ajuy, Fuerteventura. So, why and what design georoads? Well, because good things have to be shared. And because the contemplation of the beautiful landscape cheers the heart, shoots the soul, and encourages reflection. Because peripatetic teaching makes learning friendly. It takes away from the routine of books, facilitates direct observation of nature, and alternates doses of geological information with time for physical activity, rest and human relations, and to hear histories from other times. And of course, to educate the youngest in respect of the geological heritage. And so, to facilitate access to knowledge and continuous training of tour guides, to promote rural tourism in destinations that lack artistic heritage, involving others in our own discoveries, preventing knowledge from becoming enthusiastic. It is a trait of the high born to be grateful. The education of the youth is a bit for the future. It's working long term. It's weathering the hope that it will permeate the understanding of geological processes in the mind of others, and perhaps one day the love for nature and the commitment to sustainable development will grow in their hearts. A great effort has been made to connect with the high school faculty. We are aware of the multiplier effect that they have to reach the young public. The training of tourist guides is a task that enrich our research project. Collaboration with this professional group offers the possibility of improving the quality of their work, makes the tourist sector more competitive. All these actions consolidates the tourist attraction of a territory and benefit the regional economy. How can design georoads? Well, the LIGCANARIAN georoads are inspired by the Trans-Pyrenean Geological Route. They combine nature, culture, and active tourism. They are aimed at tourist guides, high school teachers, and the general public with concerns about rural tourism. The georoads have been carefully chosen according to scientific, logistical, and commercial criteria. From a scientific point of view, georoads develop few geological ideas, but in a clear and simple way. They articulate the concepts with a single storyline that narrates an episode in the geological history of the Canary Island. In addition, for this first edition, we have tried to design routes for which there is no published geological description. In this way, innovative products are offered that complement existing publications. And to facilitate logistics, it has been tried that the roads were short, safe, and inclusive. To do this, they have taken advantage of a stretch of royal paths or popular hiking trails. Walking roads that are not difficult and are accessible to young and old with reduced mobility. In addition, in some cases, an alternative route is offered to travel by car. First, some commercial criteria have been taken into account to favor the tourist flow. Thus, the starting point of the road is located in the vicinity of a holiday village. It is equipped with some tourist service like parking, refreshment point. And the road passes near some cultural resource like national park, archaeological site, or historical building. The proposed direction of that branch is designed to have the sun on your back whenever possible, and thus avoid backlighting in photographs and panoramic views. Well, what's the contents? The georoads offer all the information collected in digital format. The final products are three: interactive maps in KML format, 3D blocks in HTML format, and printable flyer in PDF format. In all cases, the information is offered in various formats: text, raster image, and vector graphic. The variety of products offered and formats used confers more possibilities of penetration in the different communication channels that people use today. The PDF format allows the downloading and printing of the cartography in paper format for use in the field. The KML format allows online information to be consulted with a laptop using web applications as Google Earth, Google Maps, or LIGCANARIAS, or even the visualization of the road on a tablet or on a smartphone with a GPS hand device after installing cartographic apps such as Map of Spain or My Maps or Wikilog. The georoad will also be visible online with OpenStreetMap's web application after converting the KML file to GPX format. Excuse me. Finally, the HTML format is conditioned by QGIS, the program that generates the 3D blocks with a plugin them to 3D. The HTML format allows the block to be consulted on devices that have a web browser installed, even if they are offline. In addition, the digital formats used to distribute the georoads reduce the physical support needs. It's not necessary to equip the stops with information panels or QR code. Consequently, its implementation is cheaper. However, it's assumed that municipal corporations and regional governments to mark tourist routes for practical reasons to avoid loss of hiccups. In addition, the milestones used to mark the way usually have a design that gives the route a personality and include the institutional. Well, the information collected in each georoad is the following. A basic cartography. The flyers offer a shadow model and a hypsometric map of the roads surrounding. Both have been generated with high contrast and are laid out in DIN A3 format to allow them to be printed in black and white with a standard photocopier. The area covered by the map is large enough to facilitate orientation on the path. The cartography includes the toponymy, the layout of the road, an access road, the location of the stop, parking, viewpoints, restaurants, and the graphic and numerical scale adapted to the print size. Usually, scale is 25 thousandths. That's most common among Higgins. In addition, the essential information was had a simple symbology. This makes it easier to interpret the relief and adapts to the capabilities of free web viewers. Well, the interactive maps take advantage of the cartographic produce offered by the different web applications to offer the information already described. In the case of Google Earth application, the collection of available orthophotos is used, and the link to the web service of the geological map made by IGME and offered by GraphCam is added. In the case of the GraphCam viewer, the entire collection of cartographic produce offered by either of the Canary Islands is used. Orthophotos, basic cartography and thematic cartography, and among all the geological map stands out. In the case of the Google Map application, the orthophoto and the hypsometric map are used as support, which incorporates a shadow model, as you can see. Well, about the road layout and the profile, you must know that the polyline of the plot has been generated from the data obtained with a GPS handheld device model Garmin compatible with GLONASS. The GPS data has been corrected on a high precision orthophoto, and the resulting polyline was saved in a file with a KML format. The profile of the road was obtained from the polyline of the road with the tool Show Elevation Profile offered by the Google Earth application. The number and location of the stops depends on the observation to be made. These observations should be of local or national interest and should facilitate the development of a storyline that tells a prominent episode in the geological history of the island. These observations are related to geosites. All geosites cataloged by the IGME in the LIG, the database of the Spanish geosites. Once the observations had been chosen, the stops were selected taking into account the existing infrastructures and the panoramic views offered. On the one hand, the conditions of the point was considered: the quality of the access, the existence of benches, railing, and waste basket. On the other hand, a visual basin analysis was carried out. A geometric analysis of the goodness of each viewpoint based on the geosite that are seen, the distance at which they are, and the possibility they offer to maintain the chronological order to the geological history. For this process, the Show Visual Basin tool offered by Google Earth was used. This tool allows you to explore views from a predefined point. The tool highlights visible areas in green. This function is useful although it's not designed to perform precise calculations. Finally, a field check was made of each viewpoint, both qualities visually and its distance to the point of interest. The basic toponymy of the environment was added. Layer of information that includes the principal place and the reference contained in the textual description of the geosites. The location of the complementary service that provide added value to the road was incorporated. Parking, viewpoints, and restaurants near the proposed path, the existence of an alternative route by car, the location of monuments and archaeological sites, and a lot of some things. All georoads include two 3D blocks. The landscape block and the geological block. Both images are a final product generated in HTML format, which is often linked to the interactive map in KML format. The landscape block encompasses a small sector of basic 2D mapping and provides the geographic framework to contextualize a single geosite. The geological block is even smarter than the landscape block, but it contains a lateral face that dissects the geosite, offering the possibility of interpreting the geological profile of the element. This geological profile is provided separately as a new figure in raster format, which is included as an illustration in the flyers. Well, 3D blocks contain more information than basic 2D cartography. The information of the blocks is arranged in interactive layers that allow manual activation and deactivation, as well as the regulation of the transparency factor. This versatility offers a variety of visualizations. Among the additional information of this product stands out the shadow model, the hypsometric map, the orthophoto, and the geological map. All these layers are fed by the web map service offered by the Canary Island IDE through GovCam. Okay. In all cases, the orientation of the 3D block must match the longitudinal profile of the geosite illustrated. This facilitates the visualization of the relief and allows the geological profile of the geosite to coincide with one of the lateral face of the geological block. In addition, the degree of extrusion of the blocks is moderate so that the figure is elegant. Never extrude more than 1000 on the minimum map elevation. Okay. The interactive maps of the georoutes include a geological cartography prepared by the IGME, which LIGCANARIAS offers through the web service. This service is compatible with Google Earth. Each stop was provided with a brief textual explanation of the observable geosite at each point. The textual information was complemented with images of the geosites, some of which are labeled and interpreted to be more illustrative. Where? There are 7 geo roads designed for the LIGCANARIAS project. Each road has a short and easy to remember title and a descriptive subtitle that gives body to the observations made. First of all, Barranco de las Angustias in La Palma, an erosive dismantling of a volcanic building due to the fitting of the torrential network. Second, the cliff of Las Puntas in El Hierro, a retreat of a rocky cliff due to coastal erosion. Third, Punta Llana in La Gomera, the development of a low-cost and insular flank landslide. Fourth, the North Ramblas in Tenerife, an aquifer conditioned by the alternation of impermeable layers. In Gran Canaria, the Tirajana caldera, an erosive dismantling of a volcanic building by slope instabilities. And in Fuerteventura, the Corralejo volcanoes, an alignment of recent volcanic cones along an eruptive fissure. Well, does the geological heritage have potential? It does allow knowing the history of a territory? Yes. It has scientific, cultural, educational, and tourist potential. Therefore, it has economical potential. Geological heritage has potential if the history it tells and the place it describes are beautiful. And the geological history of the Canary Island is fascinating and its landscape are varied and spectacular. It's proven by the numerous of tourists who walk its trails. The Canary Islands are in the focus of leading geological investigations. It's a geological laboratory without parallel. Few islands in the world have such a varied and long-standing volcanic record. In the case of the Canary Islands, the geological heritage is acclaimed for cultural and sport activities. Many divers from around the world flock to its calm waters to search for the volcano's roots in its crystalline bottoms. The educational potential of the Canary Island lies in its geodiversity, which facilitates incorporating natural heritage into project-based learning. If only for this reason, the geological heritage of the volcanic archipelago deserves to be disclosed with georoads and many other initiatives to fit the needs of tourist guides and educators and thus echo the natural beauties of these islands. And the thing is, at least the Canary Islands have a landscape that falls in love. And I wonder, do we take advantage of this potential that is given to us, or are we wasting it? Because few territories can offer geosites as accessible, safe, close, and educational as those found in the Canary Islands. A place with a mild, almost spring-like climate, a safe social environment, and a network of basic service that allows to satisfy the tourist demand. So, dear college, what are we waiting for to disseminate the biodiversity of the volcanic islands? Thank you very much.